The one habit stealing your strength after 50. As we grow older, many people assume that losing strength, energy, and vitality is simply a natural part of aging. But here's the truth, aging itself is not the main culprit. The real problem is often a single habit that slowly creeps into daily life after 50 days sedentary living. Sitting too much, moving too little, and allowing the body to stay inactive is the silent thief of strength and independence. When we stop challenging our muscles and bones, they begin to weaken. This process, known as sarcopenia, starts earlier than most people realize, but after 50 it accelerates. Muscles shrink, bones lose density, and simple tasks like climbing stairs or carrying groceries suddenly feel harder. It's not just about physical weakness. Inactivity also affects the heart, metabolism, and even the brain. The good news, this habit is reversible. Even small lifestyle changes, adding walks, light strength training, stretching, or yoga can rebuild strength and preserve mobility. The human body is incredibly adaptive, no matter your age. By breaking free from prolonged sitting and embracing movement, you can slow down muscle loss, improve balance, and protect yourself from falls and injuries. Think about strength not only as the ability to lift weights, but also as the foundation of independence. It's the strength that lets you play with your grandchildren, travel freely, and live life without relying on others. Choosing daily activity is not just about fitness. It's about preserving freedom and dignity as you age. So, if there's one message to remember today, it's this: movement is medicine. Break the cycle of inactivity, even with small, consistent steps, and you'll protect your strength well beyond 50. When we talk about health after 50, most people immediately think of diet, medication, or genetics as the biggest players in how the body changes. But the most underestimated factor, the one quietly stealing strength day by day, is sedentary living. This hidden habit has become so normalized in modern life that many don't even realize how destructive it is. Sitting for hours at a desk, lounging on the couch in front of the television, or even spending large parts of the day reading or on the phone may feel harmless, but the body interprets this prolonged stillness in a very different way. It sees it as disuse, and when the body isn't used, it begins to slowly shut down the systems that keep it strong. After 50, the consequences of inactivity accelerate. Muscles naturally begin to lose size and power, a condition called sarcopenia. And when we pair that with long periods of sitting, the process speeds up dramatically. Every muscle in the body, from the thighs and calves that carry us forward, to the core muscles that stabilize the spine, begins to weaken when not regularly challenged. The habit of staying sedentary doesn't just affect muscle fibers, it also reduces circulation, decreases flexibility, and limits the joint's range of motion. Over time, this leads to stiffness, discomfort, and an increased risk of injury. Something as simple as bending down to pick up a bag of groceries or climbing a few steps can feel like an uphill battle, but the dangers go deeper than physical weakness. Inactivity also affects the metabolism, making it harder to maintain a healthy weight. A sedentary body burns fewer calories, stores more fat, and has a harder time regulating blood sugar and cholesterol. That is why individuals who spend most of their days sitting are at a higher risk of developing conditions like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease. The habit of not moving is not just stealing physical strength, it's quietly undermining overall health from the inside. Beyond the body, a sedentary lifestyle also impacts the mind. Movement is directly tied to brain health, memory, and mood. When we spend long hours sitting without breaks, blood flow to the brain decreases, and this can contribute to brain fog, lack of concentration, and even feelings of depression. After 50, maintaining mental sharpness is just as important as physical energy, and the one habit that robs both at once is inactivity. It is easy to think of strength only as muscles and physical stamina, but true strength also includes mental clarity, motivation, and resilience, all of which decline when the body is not moving. What makes this habit so deceptive is how comfortable it feels. Sitting down to rest is natural, but in today's world it has gone from a short break to the default way of living. The average person spends more than half of their waking hours sitting, and with age, it only increases. The habit begins slowly, choosing the couch instead of a walk, driving short distances instead of walking, spending an evening in front of screens instead of engaging in active hobbies. Over time, this quiet habit accumulates into noticeable loss of strength and energy. And because it sneaks up little by little, many don't connect their fatigue or weakness to the root cause: too much sitting and too little movement. When the body reaches its 50s, a process that has been quietly happening for years becomes much more noticeable: the gradual loss of muscle and bone strength. This is not just the effect of time, but is strongly influenced by lifestyle choices, particularly the lack of regular activity. Muscles are living tissues that respond to use, and when they are not challenged, they shrink and weaken. This condition, known as sarcopenia, accelerates significantly after midlife. It doesn't happen overnight, But the signs are there. Lifting a suitcase feels heavier than it used to. Climbing stairs takes more effort, and long walks leave you more tired than before. These small but consistent changes signal that muscles are losing their resilience. Bones are equally affected by inactivity. After the age of 50, bone density naturally begins to decline, especially in women due to hormonal changes. But when the body remains sedentary, the decline happens faster. Bones thrive on stress, the healthy kind that comes from movement, walking, lifting, or even standing for long periods. Without this stimulation, bones gradually lose their mineral content, becoming weaker and more prone to fractures. This is why osteoporosis and bone breaks become far more common in older adults who live inactive lifestyles. It is not simply a matter of age, it is the absence of regular stress and stimulation that causes bones to deteriorate more quickly. The connection between inactivity and sarcopenia is not just about reduced strength, but also about the impact on overall physical function. Muscles work in harmony with bones and joints to carry out even the simplest movements. When muscles weaken, joints take on more pressure, increasing the risk of arthritis and mobility issues. The chain reaction continues. Weaker muscles lead to less activity, which then further accelerates muscle and bone loss. This vicious cycle creates a downward spiral that, if left unchecked, can lead to frailty and dependence on others for everyday tasks. Inactivity also reduces flexibility and balance, two crucial components of physical strength that often get overlooked. Strong muscles support balance, and flexible joints allow for smooth movement. Without them, the risk of falling increases dramatically, and falls in older adults often lead to fractures that take months to heal or, in some cases, never fully recover. The loss of muscle and bone strength is not only about diminished capability, but it directly threatens independence. The simple ability to walk confidently, bend without pain, or carry out daily activities is rooted in the health of muscles and bones. Many people assume that aging inevitably brings weakness, but studies consistently show that those who remain physically active into their 50s, 60s, and beyond maintain far greater strength than those who are sedentary. Weight-bearing exercises, resistance training, and even simple daily movement like walking or gardening can stimulate muscle fibers and bone cells, slowing or even reversing much of the decline. The human body adapts to the demands placed on it, and without those demands, it simply lets go of strength it no longer needs. This is why inactivity is so dangerous. It signals to the body that muscle and bone are no longer required, and the body responds by reducing them. When people think about the effects of not moving enough, they often stop at the obvious: weak muscles, stiff joints, or a little extra weight. But the truth is that inactivity goes much deeper than just the surface. A sedentary lifestyle disrupts the way nearly every system in the body works, and its reach extends far beyond the muscles and bones. One of the most serious consequences is the impact it has on the heart and circulation. The heart is a muscle, and like any other muscle, it weakens when it is not exercised. Without regular physical activity, the heart pumps less efficiently, blood flow slows, and arteries become stiffer. Over time, this raises blood pressure and increases the risk of heart disease, which remains one of the leading causes of illness and death in people over 50. Inactivity also has a profound effect on metabolism. Muscles are metabolically active tissues, meaning they burn calories even when you are at rest. When muscle mass declines from lack of use, the body burns fewer calories throughout the day. This makes it much easier to gain weight and much harder to lose it. Extra weight, especially around the abdomen, creates further strain on the heart, lungs, and joints. Even more concerning, it contributes to insulin resistance, a condition where the body has trouble managing blood sugar. This is a direct pathway to type 2 diabetes, which is significantly more common in adults who spend much of their time sitting. The harm doesn't stop there. Extended periods of sitting also affect how well the body processes fats and cholesterol. Research shows that long stretches without movement reduce the activity of enzymes responsible for breaking down blood fats. This means triglycerides and bad cholesterol stay higher in the bloodstream, increasing the risk of clogged arteries and stroke. It's not an exaggeration to say that sedentary behavior rewires metabolism in ways that make disease more likely. The brain, too, suffers when the body remains inactive. Physical activity boosts blood flow to the brain, delivers oxygen and nutrients, and stimulates the release of chemicals that support memory and learning. Without this regular boost, mental sharpness can begin to dull. Many people over 50 notice brain fog, forgetfulness, or difficulty concentrating, and while aging plays a role, inactivity magnifies these problems. Even mood is heavily influenced by movement. Exercise stimulates the release of endorphins and serotonin, natural mood lifters, while a sedentary lifestyle is strongly linked to higher rates of depression and anxiety. Another overlooked consequence of prolonged inactivity is the strain it places on the immune system. Regular movement enhances circulation, which helps immune cells travel through the body efficiently and fight infections. Sedentary habits, on the other hand, weaken immune response, leaving the body more vulnerable to illness and slowing recovery when sickness does occur. This can be especially dangerous after 50, when immune function is already naturally declining. The takeaway is clear: lack of movement doesn't just make the body weaker on the outside, it creates a silent cascade of changes inside that affect nearly every organ. The habit of staying sedentary is not just stealing muscle, it is quietly stealing heart health, metabolic stability, mental clarity, and resilience against disease. The most powerful truth about the body is that it has an incredible capacity to adapt no matter the age. The damage caused by years of sitting too much or moving too little is not irreversible. The habit of inactivity can be replaced with healthier patterns, and when that happens, the body responds with renewed energy and strength. Even after 50, muscles can grow, bones can become stronger, and stamina can improve. This is why small, consistent actions carry so much importance. They communicate to the body that it is still needed, still capable, and still strong. One of the most effective solutions is resistance training, which does not necessarily mean lifting heavy weights at a gym. It can be as simple as using resistance bands at home, bodyweight exercises like squats or push-ups, or carrying groceries in both hands while walking. These types of movements stimulate muscle fibers to repair and grow. The body does not differentiate between lifting a dumbbell and lifting a heavy bag of soil in the garden. It simply responds to the demand placed on it. Even short, regular bouts of strength-based activity can reverse some of the loss of muscle caused by years of inactivity. Walking is another powerful yet underestimated solution. It strengthens the heart, improves circulation, and stimulates bone and joint health. A brisk 20-30 minute walk most days of the week can dramatically reduce the risks associated with a sedentary lifestyle. For people who may feel intimidated by exercise, walking is a safe and accessible way to build a foundation of movement. Over time, it also improves balance, coordination, and flexibility, three key areas that are essential for maintaining independence. Flexibility and stretching exercises add another layer of protection against the harms of inactivity. As muscles age, they tend to become tighter and less elastic. This not only limits mobility, but also increases the likelihood of injury. Regular stretching or practices like yoga and Tai Chi keep muscles supple and joints mobile, allowing for smoother, pain-free movement. Beyond physical benefits, these activities often calm the mind, reduce stress, and enhance overall well-being. It is important to recognize that the solution does not require dramatic changes overnight. The human body thrives on consistency rather than intensity. Even short bursts of activity throughout the day, standing up every hour, walking while on the phone, climbing stairs instead of taking the elevator, add up to significant improvements over time. This approach is especially valuable after 50, when pushing the body too hard can lead to setbacks. Gentle but steady effort is the key to unlocking the body's ability to recover and grow stronger. Another powerful motivator is community. Joining group exercise classes, walking with friends, or even participating in online fitness challenges can provide accountability and encouragement. The sense of connection that comes from moving with others often makes it easier to stay consistent. For many, exercise stops feeling like a chore and begins to feel like a social, enjoyable part of life. By taking small, deliberate steps, anyone can interrupt the cycle of weakness created by inactivity. The body is always listening, always ready to adapt, and always capable of change. Movement is not just an activity, it is a message to the body that life is still vibrant, still strong, and still full of possibility. Strength is often misunderstood as something measured only by the ability to lift heavy objects or push the body through intense physical challenges. While those are signs of physical power, true strength after 50 is far more meaningful. It is the quiet force that allows someone to live independently, to move freely without fear, and to enjoy life on their own terms. Independence is built on strength, and without it, even the simplest daily activities can become overwhelming. When muscles weaken and bones lose density, getting out of a chair, carrying groceries, or walking across a parking lot can feel like insurmountable tasks. These limitations gradually erode independence, and the one habit at the root of it all is inactivity. The connection between strength and independence is not always obvious until it is gone. Many people don't notice the gradual decline until a moment arrives when they need to rely on someone else. This could be a fall that leads to injury, a loss of balance that shakes confidence, or the realization that climbing stairs has become too exhausting. Each of these moments chips away at the ability to live without help. But when activity remains a consistent part of life, these situations can be delayed or avoided altogether. Strength is more than physical. It is also a safeguard for personal freedom. Another layer to this truth is that strength directly protects against falls, one of the most significant threats to independence in older adults. Strong leg and core muscles combined with balance and flexibility create stability. Falls are not always caused by external hazards. Often they happen because the body is simply not strong or coordinated enough to recover from a stumble. Once a fall results in a fracture, recovery can be long and difficult, and many never fully regain their independence. Staying active ensures the body maintains the resilience to bounce back from missteps, both literally and figuratively. Strength also allows people to continue engaging in the activities that bring them joy. Playing with grandchildren, traveling, pursuing hobbies, or even tending a garden all require a baseline of physical energy. Without it, life begins to shrink, and activities once enjoyed are replaced by passive alternatives. This shift not only affects the body but also the mind, leading to feelings of isolation, frustration, and dependence. By maintaining strength through regular activity, the door to these fulfilling experiences stays open, creating a richer and more vibrant life. Equally important is the emotional impact of strength. Independence fosters confidence, dignity, and a sense of self-worth. When someone feels capable of moving through life on their own, they are more likely to remain socially engaged, pursue goals, and maintain a positive outlook on aging. On the other hand, losing strength can create fear of falling, fear of burdening loved ones, fear of losing control. This fear often discourages activity even further, creating a cycle of decline. By staying active, individuals not only preserve their physical abilities, but also protect their confidence and emotional well-being. In the end, strength after 50 is not about building a perfect body or chasing athletic achievements. It is about preserving the ability to live freely without relying on others for basic needs. It is about protecting dignity, sustaining joy, and ensuring that aging does not mean giving up independence. Every step taken, every muscle strengthened, and every moment of movement contributes to this greater purpose, maintaining the strength that equals freedom. Goodbye for now, and thank you